is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the Morgan Man Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, esports, covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube via the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel page. Guys, on today's episode right here, I am talking about the Atlanta Falcons and the things that I'm looking forward to during this offseason with mandatory minicamp, OTAs, and later on in training camp, which will be in late July. So without any further delay, let's go to get straight into today's action. All right, guys, so this is going to be kind of a short and sweet kind of episode right here. Not really much is going on. We are definitely deep in the trenches for the NFL offseason right here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank goodness, though, we're kind of about midway through the month of June. So that is definitely exciting right there. So that means we get past pretty much the rest of June, this second half, and the first half of July, we got football back pretty much because training camp, the fans could go see the players, train at their respective training facilities, and of course, the NFL preseason. Now, of course, the preseason doesn't really mean anything, just who's going to make the roster at the end of the 3 weeks. And that's pretty much about it. But hey, at least we get some football. So I'm definitely not complaining about that. So let's talk about the couple things that I want to see out of this Falcons pretty much off-season program. Number one is the step up of Kyle Pitts. Definitely Kyle Pitts has been the under the radar kind of guy right here for his entirety of his Falcons roster debuts. 5 years ago, and basically it was under the Arthur Smith program. And Kyle Pitts has definitely put up some receiving yards, but has it really just been spectacular in touchdowns or like eye-catching, plays that would like make you think, dang, this is like Tony Gonzalez level right here, or Rob Gronkowski. No, this is just Kyle Pitts just putting up some good above average numbers, in my opinion, but that's just about it. And I think this is where the addition of like Michael Penix Jr. can definitely help with the production of Kyle Pitts, but at the same time, it's up to Kyle Pitts as well to really get into the zone and start making a name for himself. Because I feel like after this season, Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris is going to move on from what people call the unicorn in Kyle Pitts. Number two is, what is this team building off of from last season? So you'll notice a lot about teams. During my first NFL training camp that I went to, I actually attended with my dad on a Saturday. And this was like during the Dan Quinn era. So I think it was like the season that he got fired. So 2019-ish, 2020, right in there. And yeah, it had to have been the 2019 season because during the 2020 training camps weren't open to the public due to COVID. But during that 2019 training camp, Dan Quinn was practicing red zone targeting and, scoring touchdowns. Of course, that was a lackluster area for the Falcons during the 2018 season. So he made that training camp specifically that day targeting end zone and red zone areas. So I definitely like that. And you're going to notice that a lot about your specific team. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like a Green Bay Packers fan or New England Patriots, whoever. But the Falcons, in my honest opinion, definitely offense still needs to work. But defense, I feel like tackling and open man coverage, solo tackling, all that really needs to be worked on. And this is a perfect opportunity with Jalen Walker coming in from the University of Georgia to be practicing at those reps. And training camp is definitely going to be huge for him. So defense definitely is a huge priority this year because I think we was like bottom of the barrel in defense. I mean, we were up there, but not like, at least like mid-tier up there. We was kind of like maybe in the top 20, top 25-ish right in there. So it definitely wasn't enough to produce like an elite defense or a top 10 defense at the most. But now offense definitely, again, they had their struggles, but the offense definitely clicked. And with Michael Penix Jr., again, at the helm, he has all the possible endings and startings, whatever, to really make this a top 5 offense, honestly. Because I believe the Falcons finished top 6 in overall offense for the NFL last season. So definitely could compete with the Mahomes and Joe Burrows and all them. But the defense is where it really lacked for the Falcons last season and ultimately costed us some games that we should have won. And of course, number 3, honestly, guys, it's just the fan retention this year. The fan retention has been something that's not been available since our Super Bowl run back in 2016. So almost 10 years ago. Yeah, almost 10 years ago, believe it or not, since we've been to the promised land of the Super Bowl. And that's when the fan base pretty much just kind of just died out because after the flunk, again, that's the Kyle Shanahan problem. The fan base just kind of just left. Never came back. Yes, you still got some hardcore fans like me who actually was introduced to the Falcons during that Super Bowl season and ultimately lost. And then I was like, you know what? No, this team is going to be back. This team right here is definitely a team to beat. This is just a small little fluke. Nothing to worry. And of course, I lied to myself these many years later. But still, I'm an ultimate Falcons fan. Have been since, practically the Dan Quinn era. And I'm looking forward to the season, but also at the same time, fans really need to just sit back and all right, we need to cheer our Dirty Birds on. They're down a touchdown. We need to get the opposing offense off the field and get ours on the field. And we really just need to reunite together as Falcons fans and bring that energy back into the stadium, because that's what ultimately won us a lot of games during that Matt Ryan, Dan Quinn Super Bowl era right there. So if we could really bring that back, that would definitely be something monumental for the Falcons moving forward, especially under Michael Penix Jr. and Raheem Morris, because I feel like if this duo right here, quarterback and head coach, can go all the way and win a Super Bowl, it will be history in the making for a long, and I mean a very long time. So we will wait and see, but those guys are my top 3 things I'm looking forward to in this year's kind of just off-season, preseason kind of switching right there for the Atlanta Falcons moving into training camp and to the preseason games in August. But I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel page. Make sure you are subscribing right now for more NFL content posted daily. But until then, I, Stacy Morgan, catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.